Hi everyone, welcome back. Today I'm going to be recreating the piece that you see here. So if you want to see me make it, continue watching. I'm going to be using 18 gauge round copper wire as well as 24 gauge copper wire. I'll start by straightening the wire a bit. I cut about 52 inches of the weaving wire. Alright, next I'm going to cut 12 inches of wire, 18 gauge, 12 inches. Now I will take my 24 gauge wire and just start to wrap all the way up this wire here. And go ahead and start here. So just continue on with your wraps. So I've gone ahead and finished wrapping my wire. Now I'm going to cut 6 inches of the 18 gauge wire. Now I'll take my round nose pliers and just make a loop right here at the top. Doesn't have to be big. One thing I forgot to mention earlier is this wire is half hard instead of dead soft like I'm used to, so this is a bit more stiff than usual for me. Now I'm going to take both the wrapped wire and the straight wire with the loop, and I'm going to put them together by wrapping this wire around the straight wire. Coiling it around. So as you can see, this is the pattern that I'm going for. I'm just going to keep coiling around this straight wire. Just wrap your coils tightly around until you get toward the end. It's actually quite stiff because both wires are 18 gauge and it's a little hard to turn, so I'll use my pliers to help me hold as I turn. Generally, if I would have used a softer wire, even though 18 gauge is not very stiff, it still hurts my fingers to turn it, and it's a bit stiff with this wire wrapped around it. So anyway, I'm going to help. I'm going to use these to help me coil the wire down, straight wire. So far this is what it's looking like, and I'm realizing that I'm making the coils a bit too tight, so I had to spread them out a bit, but it's hard to spread the ones out that I already made tight, but going forward I'm going to spread them out more. So I've gone ahead and wrapped the entire length of the straight wire with the coiled wire, and this is the outcome. Notice that I did not cut the weave wire yet, still connected. Now I'm going to use my wooden dowel to to bend this wire around. I'm going to use the very top here because it's the largest size, and we'll see how it goes. So I have the shape that I want. There we go. So the end here, I have about a half, well, 3/4 of an inch left, and I'm going to use that part to wrap around the loop here. Let's just bend this upward a bit. And just take that piece and just bend it around there. To hold it in place. Now I can just go ahead and cut this weave wire here because I don't need any more of it. But instead of cutting right here at the tip, I'm just going to cut and leave about an inch there. And then I'm going to take my round nose pliers and make a loop here with that. This loop is going to be for a dangle piece to dangle from. And there we have the little piece there to hang our bead from. And I was going to use a 10mm bead, but I think it'll be better to use a bigger one. So I'm going to use a 12mm bead for the dangly part here. So now I'll take the same 24 gauge wire and cut 4 pieces at 6 inches each. Now I'm going to take all of the wires that I just cut, the 4 wires, and bunch them together, but one of them I'm going to bend in half and take it just like that. So this is what I am working with now. And I'll just twist this wire right here. Oops. Twist. Twist. Basically to hold the wires together. All right. Next, I'm going to grab the bead and the middle wire that I twisted right here, I'm going to just put it through the bead hole so it can hold my bead. That's it. Next, I'll hold all of the wires and take each wire and bend it upward on top of the bead. that side and on that side to meet up with that middle wire there, like that. And I'll just squeeze a little bit to form that little bit of a triangular shape right here, teardrop shape if you will. Anyway, just hold all the wires here, and then I'm going to take one of the larger wires and just wrap it around all of them to hold them in place. Like that. Okay, next I spread all of the wires out, fanned them out, and then I kept 2 wires straight up, the 2 middle wires, and that's what I'm going to use for the loop. These here, we can just leave them outward because I'm going to trim them. Let's go ahead and, alright, so I'm going to cut it down to here and make a loop. I'm just going to go ahead and snip off these little wires here, like this. I'm just going to go ahead and cut these off because I don't like the way that's looking. Yeah, I think that's better. Now it's just this part that I can connect. And go ahead and make a little loop there. I could have easily made a jump ring and just connected it to the jump ring, but I like to be difficult, so this is what I did. All right, so I have the dangly connected there. If you wanted to have it look like this, you don't have to do the next part, but this is just one view of how it could look. I'm just going to spread these out. And get in there. Alright, so that basically is it. So I'll just spread them all out equally as possible. Well, there is our finished piece. Just created it on the fly, no plans. Just came to me as I was creating. So I think it came out nicely. So that's it. Thank you for joining me for another episode of From Fee to You, and we'll see you next time.